Alright, hello everybody. I'm back at the van again today to do some more work on insulation. I was going to put up some Reflectix on this side, like I did with my past video on the passenger side. So stuff's pretty easy to work with. I just kind of wanted to throw this out to you guys if you're planning on doing this. I know a lot of people, they'll use, this is the material right here. This is a scrap piece. I know a lot of people will like, I think I've seen a couple videos where people have cut cardboard templates for cutting this stuff out, but I just freehand it. Goes on pretty easy. And then any scrap pieces that I have left over, I'll just kind of cut into irregular shapes that I can't get the full roll into. The roll cost me less than 50 bucks. It's 4 by 25, so 100 square feet, and I'm hoping to get most of the van. I know I can get the bulkheads down here pretty well sealed up, but I'm planning on putting this stuff on the ceiling too, just because it's going to be a lot lighter weight. Originally they had a couple of the styrofoam insulation pads in between the wood paneling on top. I'm thinking I'm probably going to do that again, but I think this Reflectix is going to really knock down the UVs that are going to be coming through, because this thing does, a lot of light does come through here, so I think if it gets into the cab it's going to be pretty miserable in here when we head down south. So just wanted to kind of throw a little video together and show you what I'm doing today. So this is the roll here. Tilt the camera up just a bit so you can see. It's actually kind of worked out pretty well. It's actually get my face in there. And it's not really wanting to go back in. Not that I'm the most handsome guy in the world, but at least I can talk to you. There we go. Just move it up a little bit. And tilt it around a little bit. So I could just kind of, like so, just kind of back in the corner there. So I'm kind of working in a confined spot, so I don't have a lot of room to go for a wide angle shot, but pretty much that's what we're working with. Kind of have it set up so we can get it kind of in there, and then we just kind of cut it out with a box knife. And we got a pair of scissors too to get into those tighter spots. So, well, everybody, I am back. Right now you can see I kind of have the panel up in place. I did kind of run into a snag though. I'll touch down here real quick. Probably can't see that too well with the glare, but I was not able to get the whole panel in there as well as I thought I would, because I had this turn signal on the side here, or I guess it'd be a running light. Not quite sure on that one. I'll have to check out that later. But because of this filler neck here, the protector, I wasn't able to kind of hold it in as well as possible, so I'm gonna have to do this in a couple pieces. But that's okay. I did that on the other side too, and that's mainly what I prefer. You kind of have to work with some odd angles here, so kind of save you a step. So next step, what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of work and freehand some patch panels. But I wanted to show you what I've been doing to keep these in place. Some people just kind of keep these wedged in fairly well. Just kind of the tension will hold it in, but tell you the truth, I'm going to be running this thing down to Home Depot and getting some paneling and some insulation in here. You know, the pink styrofoamy stuff. So this thing's going to be moving around, and I'm pretty sure that the panels would be of this Reflectix would be falling out. So what I've been doing is I've been tacking them in with this 3M super heavy duty or Super 77 multi-purpose adhesive, just tacking it in a little bit. So what I'll do here is pull this out. It's actually a little tacky on the back side too with the the undercoating in there. So just kind of tilt you up here a little bit with the spray. Shake your can before you start doing this. I did this before I turned the camera on, so just to kind of save a step. So you don't want to go too overboard, you just kind of want this to be somewhat tacky. It'll hold it in place. I was thinking that, you know, I would have to glom it on, but not so much. That backwards. Since I cut that around the filler neck right there. Alright, I'm back. This is kind of the end result. That's what I was looking for. I mean, I got some rough patches in here. There's still a couple gaps. You can see. But, I mean, like right there, there's a little bit of a gap, but not too worried about that. But, I mean, this stuff's pretty easy to work with. It's, I've been eyeballing it for the most part, and just trying to get it to work in the spaces. I've got a couple overlaps here and there, so overlaps and gaps, but I think it'll be okay once we get the other insulation in. So, and yes, I did put a patch behind the filler neck. There was a small gap in there, so I tried to work it in as best as possible. But you know, hands just don't get to everywhere that you want them to get. So I think it's okay. I'm not too worried about that, but that's the end result. I mean, I've still got all this to do. Yeah, so I'm gonna work on that today. I don't think I'm gonna be able to get to everything because I do have a life too outside of this. So, and I do have to do the regular stuff that we do on the weekends to get by. But hopefully get that jumble of wire done. So I did talk to my brother-in-law last night, and he wasn't home yesterday. It was, I think it was take your daughter, take your son to work day yesterday, so he took my nephew out for the most part and showed him what he did. But that's pretty much it. He said he'd come over and take a peek at it and see what he can do in terms of getting us set up with some power. But I will continue on. Well, everybody, back again. This is about as far as I'm going to make it today. Obviously, you can see I had to do a lot of cutting to get around that window, as well as those inlets and outlets for the sink and the holding tank, I should say. But it's pretty much patched up. It's probably as best as possible, and it's not really going to matter once the other insulation's there and the paneling's over the top. I don't think anybody's gonna see the light of day until probably this thing goes to the scrapper, which it might happen after I you know, either sell it or this thing breaks down on the trip or something like that. So, but that's about it. Next one should go up a lot easier. I found with these outlets, probably the best thing to do is kind of tack it up a little bit and then try to press it on there, and then make an X and then push it in through that X and then trim around the excess. So just a helpful hint there if you're working with this stuff and you have inlets and outlets like this to get around. With the window, and this was like an afterthought because I obviously did it the wrong way, but you know, it's all a learning experience. Probably try to get it started up here with some adhesive. We had the screws, which kind of made it helpful too, because you could just push it in and then tack it in with the screws too. So, but yeah, get that started up there, and then just kind of what I would do is kind of next time if I have to do this, and I probably will with these windows up here when I go back over with the Reflectix, but kind of drape it over, and then probably I'd start a slit out right about here, work your way over, and then just kind of push it around the frame, kind of work it in, and then trim it off. And what I did was I did kind of the opposite, and I went out and just kind of trimmed along and just tried to make an outline of it, and it just didn't want to fold in that corner, so I had to cut it and then patch it up, and I mean, it doesn't look great, but it'll do. So that's about the progress for today. Hoping I can get back out here again sometime soon. We can get this Reflectix in here, knock that out, and get on to moving on to some more insulation. And finally get the paneling up. I